Yeah, take time, make time. We'd like you to spend a little time with us. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tommy Petillo, and I'd like to welcome you to the Jersey Spotlight. We have a great show for you this evening. We have with us the #1 DJ in New York, Mr. Bobby J. And also with us a very young group, very talented group, and they're backed by popular demand, Younger Days. So stick around, don't go nowhere. We got a great show coming up. All right, we're back. Okay, we have with us Mr. Bobby J, WCBS-FM radio, the big voice of New York.
Wow.
One of my favorite DJs.
It's almost hard to follow an introduction like that.
Come on.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for being on the show. I'd like to know how you got your start in radio, Bobby.
Well, I got my start after singing with a group called the Laddens. I found myself in the military and needed an outlet, so I used to go to sock ops, where I was stationed in Georgia, and I met a disc jockey who happened to be from Long Island originally, who I struck up a friendship with, and he told me he remembered the Laddens, and he allowed me to follow him around. And he told me one day, he said, you know, I know you want to get back into business. He says, but you know, you got a great voice. Have you ever thought about being on the radio? And I never thought about it until he mentioned it.
Wow.
And he gave me my start, showed me around a little station in North Augusta, South Carolina, WTHB. Then I came back to New York and got hired at WNJR in Newark.
In Newark.
WGLI in Babylon, Long Island, WDIA in Memphis, Tennessee, back to New York, WWRL. I stayed there 15 years. I was the program director, station manager there. And then in 1985, I moved over to CBS-FM.
That's 8 years now you've been
Yes.
with CBS-FM. And not too many people know that you are, that you perform with your own group, the Laddens.
The Laddens and I still perform, although not as much as I'd like, but now I have the pleasure of being in the actual vocal group that inspired me to be in show business in the first place.
Is that right?
The Teenagers.
The Teenagers, that's right, that's right. Success didn't come overnight for Bobby J, I'm sure.
No.
What does it take to become one of the best DJs in New York radio? I'm sure it must be very difficult.
I think it takes, I still have the goal and the desire to be one of the best.
Oh, wow.
I don't allow myself, I've never allowed myself to feel that I've arrived. Hard work is what it takes to do anything, not only in show business, but in any endeavor that you pursue. You've got to be a hard worker. You've got to strive for the best. Perfection is something that we as humans will never really attain, but you strive for it.
Right.
And so I was taught very young the work ethic, and I believe if I've got if there are 24 hours in the day, if I have to work 16 or 17, then so be it. So it's hard work, determination, and of course talent has a lot to do with it too.
I'm sure. Could you tell me how has radio changed at all? Has radio changed at all since the beginning?
Yeah, it's not as much fun as it used to be.
I know it's a lot of work. For anybody out there that thinks that it's easy sitting behind a microphone, I could tell you. I've been up to the station a couple times with you, and I've seen you perform, and it's perpetual motion. It's non-stop.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
what is that you're doing, Brian?
Well, now when I first started, we had engineers. We had people to do. We had engineers. We had producers, and the only thing we had to do was point our finger to cue the engineer.
Right.
But then in the 70s, early 70s, we started to become really combo-oriented. Combo means that not only do we sit in front of the microphone and talk, but we operate all of the equipment. And so I am the engineer. I am the voice, the talent. I keep the log. If necessary, I take a little rag and I wipe up. Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I see that you host a lot of the big venue shows, and you must get to meet an awful lot of groups from the era of 50s and
well,
60s and 70s?
It's not really a case of meeting. It's reacquainting because I started as a performer.
Right.
I grew up with a lot of these people. I went to school with a lot of these people. I went on double dates in some cases with some of these people. So it's just a reacquaintance. A strengthening of old ties, and of course, some of the younger groups I'm getting an opportunity to meet. But it's like
and we have one here this evening.
Yes, Younger Days.
We're gonna listen.
So
to
it's
them,
great.
sure.
It's like a class reunion every time I do one of these shows because we're backstage and we're razzing one another and we're talking about telling lies. Occasionally we tell a few truths, but that's what it is. It's really a lot of fun.
This WCBS-FM 20-year anniversary show at Radio City was a guest.
Yeah.
That was a big production, too.
Very big.
God, how many groups? 20?
20. One group
groups.
representing every year of the station's existence.
Right. Well, we're going to talk about that and a little more later on, but right now we have with us a great group. They're tearing it up everywhere they perform. Mr. Joe Marioni and his group Younger DayZ.
Called In My Younger Days, which was the inspiration for the name of the group. It was originally recorded by the Monarchs. It's the flip side of Pretty Little Girl, 1956. But we borrowed this arrangement from my friends, the Admirations. In my younger days, when I was on my spree, all my friends used to say, as they looked at me, I cannot kiss my baby, hold my baby, hold my baby, hold my baby tight. Now in my olden days, when I can't get around, and I seem to be just like a clown, I used to kiss my baby, hug my baby, hold my baby, hold my baby tight. I go around in a daze, nobody else can I seem to see. She's got me lost in a maze, oh where can she be? And as I turned around and looked their way, I could hear her say, she has gone away. I cannot kiss my baby, hug my baby, hold my baby, hold my baby tight. Pop, 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 hey!
All right, fantastic, fantastic. Very good, very good. Okay. We're coming back with more of Younger DayZ and my co-host, Mr. Bobby J, so stay with us. We'll be back shortly. All right, we're back with the Jersey Spotlight. We're back with the group Younger DayZ, and who do we have? Introduce yourselves, if you would.
Joe Marioni, leading first tenor.
Edie Fuentes, leading first tenor.
Okay.
Tommy Sikanolfi, second tenor, first tenor, lead.
Gordon Pecusic, baritone lead.
Gordon.
Mike Esperto, bass.
Okay. Joe, how long's this group been together?
The five of us, actually, only about 6 months.
6 months.
But, the beginnings of the group go back about 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With the three members that you see in the middle here.
Okay. And where does the group come from?
One member's from Queens. We have 2 from Nassau County and 2 from Staten Island.
Okay. And I understand you're going to be doing a recording soon with Mr. Eddie Bryan.
That's right. Eddie Bryan of the Ducanes is going to be producing us on a Christmas record, which is due out in November. And the 2 original tunes that he wrote, and he's going to produce us. We're going to be on with a 20-piece orchestra and band, and we're really looking forward to it.
Sounds great. Well, we'll be looking for that. And you guys are going to give us another song, right?
I think so.
Introduce the song, and away we go.
This is Beginning to Love You, a song that was originally done by the Saints on the album of the same name. I'm going to feature Edie Fuentes on lead.
Do-wop-bop, 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 whoa. Do-wop-bop, 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 whoa.
Beginning to love you. I never meant to fall this hard, oh no. My feel this way. I need to know now, tell me, can you say, think I'm beginning to fall in love
with you, darling.
Darling, yes, I feel the magic, darling. When I'm in your arms, tell me, do I stand a chance with you? Ooh, tell me,
Do you love me? Is it yes?
I never meant to get involved, but now it's too late and I really need to know.
Tell me,
Do you love me? Is it yes or is it no? I think I'm falling in love.
Very nice. That was beautiful. Okay, Younger Days. We're coming back with more of the Younger Days and my guest host, Bobby J. Right now, we're going to go to the Westchester County Center on location with the Tokens and Mary Beth McDade. So, stick around.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth McDade, and I'm here on location in White Plains, New York. And tonight, I'm at the Westchester County Center. And with me tonight, I have a very hot group called the Duprees, who are originally from Jersey City, New Jersey. Okay, now you guys have a very unique sound, and I just heard you on the stage, and it was fantastic. The crowd loved you. Okay. Okay. Now I understand that you guys, you take old, or you're known for taking old ballads and making them sound more like standards, and this is what you were famous for in the earlier years.
Well, that's sort of true. We took songs that were derived from the 40s and the 50s with what was called the big band sound, with great orchestrations, great lyrics, great songs, and sort of put it into a 50s or 60s rock beat with some triplets and whatnot, and dressed it up to make it more identifiable with the generation of the late 50s and 60s. And it just sort of took off from there, taking similar songs after that. Well, it started off with You Belong to Me in 1962.
Okay, that was your first big hit?
Right.
Okay.
And after that, other songs that were similar in structure and style, like Why Don't You Believe Me, Have You Heard, and My Own True Love, Tara's theme.
Are you
Not
done?
here.
Are you done?
Yeah, let Richie I love the smell of her cologne. It's mine. Oh, I thought
Richie, go ahead, say something. Oh, it's good.
We had a 25th anniversary album. I guess Richie could tell you more about that.
Okay, you want to tell us about the 21st?
The 25th came about from everyone asking for certain recordings that the group had from years ago, which we didn't have, so we went back to re-record them, and it's now available on CDs and cassettes. And for anybody that's interested, you can come and see us wherever we're playing, or there's probably phone numbers, but we can't give them out right now. Mickey and Tom said no phone numbers right now. Come and see us at wherever we're at in the area to play, and we'll take care of that.
Well, you're a very busy group, so I'm sure someone will catch you somewhere.
Yeah.
But all right, before we go, let me just get your names now right here.
I'm Tony Testa.
Tony Testa.
Rich Rosato.
Okay.
Jimmy Spinelli.
Jim.
Phil Granito.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for asking us.
Okay, great. And stay tuned for more of the Jersey Spotlight.
The reason you don't hear from these acts anymore is the fact that radio no longer has a spot for that kind of music anymore. So if you don't get airplay, it's difficult for people to know that you're still around. And record companies have never changed over the years. This is still a youth-oriented society, and it's a youth-oriented business. We're always looking for the next younger group out there. So when you think of the 70s, you're now talking over 20 years ago. So the Intruders, the Stylistics, the Delphonics, the Continental Four, you name it, even groups like the Tramps from the so-called disco era now, they're consigned to the nostalgia bin, and they don't get recording contracts.
That's a shame.
Consequently, they don't get airplay, so you don't know what they're doing.
It's a shame because really, you know, as a 42-year-old, whatever, I feel like I'm not represented by the record companies and the music industry today. You know, what I hear coming across the airs and on TV, the rap and all, it doesn't relate to me at all and to many, many people. And there is a market for the music of the 60s, 70s, the soul generation, if you want to say.
Well,
and the record companies have not responded to that at all. It's a shame.
And for the most part, they won't.
And they won't.
No, I don't think so. They're not going to suddenly wake up.
Even though there's a market there for it.
What you're going to have is specialty labels that that'll deal with that. When you talk about so-called oldies, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, Rhino Records. Yeah, what is a Rhino? And now Rhino is a multi-million-dollar operation who specializes, and now all the big companies like Atlantic and other companies have deals with Rhino that they are going into their catalog and re-releasing all that stuff and making a ton of money.
So we don't have to wait for the big record companies. You know, I mean, if some people got together, maybe we could do it without them.
Yeah, it would be tough, but you'd have to go that way.
Yeah.
The majors, and then how many majors are you talking about anymore? All of the major companies are now foreign-owned. You don't have any real large American companies anymore outside of, I guess, Time Warner, Atlantic, you know, Elektra. But other than that, all of the major companies are owned by foreign nationals. So the whole picture has drastically changed over the years.
Wonder where it's headed.
We don't know. Hopefully it's heading in a positive direction.
Yeah, hopefully. Who were some of your favorite groups?
Right off the bat, the Dells. Of course, the Teenagers, because they were directly the reason for my being in show business. Flamingos, of course, the Moonglows.
Great.
Many of the gospel groups. The Harmonizing Four, the Dixie Hummingbirds.
I think
Soul Stirrers.
Now, on your radio show, do you bring performers on, like Don K? Or is that strictly a Don K?
Occasionally. I do, but it's not as often as Don, who brings them on weekly.
Is that
every now and then I bring on people, and I try to have people that I personally relate to. So I've had Benny King, and we talked about the old days, Earl Lewis.
I see.
Just off the bat, can't think of any others off the bat, but usually people that I came along with. But occasionally I got a chance to interview Eric Burdon, who I'd never met, and it was a spur of the moment thing. I happened to just come to work this day and say, "Oh, by the way, in a half hour you're going to interview Eric Burdon." I said, "Well, thanks, you know, at least I knew enough about Eric and particularly his music." So what could have been a disaster turned out to be a great interview, because basically it was just two guys sitting there talking music. Because of my background, see, I can relate to and talk about the seedy theaters and the smelly dressing rooms, and we can have a long conversation about stuff like that.
Do you have a story you can lay on, or something?
It's a family show.
A little on the seedy side. Okay. What does that mean? That's it. We're out of time. Okay, Bobby, thank you for coming on the show. It was a real pleasure. Hope to see you again soon.
Had a lot of fun.
Okay, great. I want to thank Younger Days for being on the show as well. I guess we'll see you next week.